Awesome. We are back live again. Somehow, still we are not able to sort of digest that hammering which India has got in the recently concluded Test series. And I think Sulesh, in the last episode we did cover a lot of Gautam Gambhir, and then we received a few comments as well that why are you targeting Gambhir? I mean, the coach can only do certain part, and it is up to players as well to sort of make sure that the performance is up to the mark, right? So मैंने सोचा कि यार प्लेयर से पहले let's find another person who's like equally responsible for the entire hammering which has been happening. A lot of questions about the selectors, about the team selection and everything. So we got to talk about Ajit Agarkar as well. Who has been the chief selector for more than a year now, and somehow uh, as per the latest media reports, right, he's someone who's been found guilty of not watching too many Ranji games. I think the last Ranji game which he watched was the Jharkhand game. I think, if I'm not wrong, the Tamil Nadu game last year in 2024 season. And uske baad he has been traveling with Indian squad overseas. Found shopping in the streets of Melbourne, England, a
London,
couple of
yeah.
times in Australia, Dubai, and I mean that's something which has got picked up by the media as well. As they say, when everything is working fine, nobody's bothered about what is going wrong and not, right? But the moment something goes off, then this entire team of PR, media, and everyone, they will after be your life. They will be after your life rather. Uh, would love to hear your thoughts on this Jai Viru duo of Gautam Gambhir and Ajit Agarkar. And since we have already spoken a lot about Gautam Gambhir in the last episode, what are your thoughts on the role which Agarkar is currently playing as being the chief selector of the Indian cricket team?
No, I think the spotlight is rightly on Agarkar, right? I mean, the fact that some of the selections have been really bizarre, and not even giving a concern towards the performances in Ranji cricket is very, very demeaning for the players who are putting in all those efforts, right? And the media article clearly mentioned. I think the last match he attended was some match involving Karnataka, and he
Yeah.
identified Padikkal, and Padikkal came into the next match itself for India and scored a 150, I think. So it's not, if you really give chances to people like that, they will perform. And in spite of that one example he had, I don't know why he's never made an effort in the last 2 years to come and watch another match after that, right? I mean, it's just sending wrong signals. Like, I remember we have all watched movies, right? We have watched in the Dhoni movie famously. Selectors came and saw his performances, right? It gives a lot of motivation. Like, when you know selectors are watching you, you are motivated, right? You're in that zone. You want to perform better, and you feel valued. But when that's not there, it's very demotivating. That it's like, okay, what am I doing? What am I playing cricket for? What's the purpose of my performances? So I guess the questions are rightly so. And this whole talk of transition, right? Like, a big part of the transition was forced. Like, why was Kohli removed? I mean, that is the question people should ask Agarkar, right? I mean, he has never really given a good example. Yes, Kohli had a lean phase, but you know that there's no question about his skills. There is no question about his fitness. He was a good captain. When you have coming in as new captain, you if you're talking about transition, you want the experienced players to be there, right? Why was Kohli and Rohit removed at that point in time so suddenly? So I think questions have to be asked about Agarkar, and he's morally responsible to answer those. I mean, he just can't just think that, okay, all the blame is going to go on Gambhir and I'm just going to go scot free. No, that's not going to happen.
No, no, rightly mentioned. And just to clarify, watching the game of cricket live is not equivalent to watching the scorecard or following the scorecard
Yeah.
of the Ranji game in the on cricket buzz or cricket info, right? That's what I think the BCCI had commented, which again was a very, very bizarre comment because uh, score or stats or data tells you one side of the story, right?
Yeah.
Especially in cricket, in a game where the skills or the toughness or the scenarios or the situation matters a lot, right? And वहां पे किस सिचुएशन में किस बैटर ने कैसा खेला, I think that is more important. For example, if you are playing on a rank turner in a fourth inning chasing 350 and a batter has
Yeah.
made 70 or 80, that would be far more valuable than a 200 which is scored by a player in the first inning or first day of a flat test wicket maybe in Rajkot. So that's the difference. You gotta assess that, and you cannot do that by following the scorecard on CricBus, right? So again, very bizarre handling by BCCI. I think we touched upon this, but again, we are starting with the ODI series tomorrow. We'll come to that in the later part of the pod. But just to set the context, it's I think we still have like 8 9 months before the next test match. I think India will play against Sri Lanka somewhere in July or August, if I'm not mistaken. And my fear is that if India does well in the white ball cricket, which is like the bilaterals, and in the New Zealand series, white ball series, and post that the T20 World Cup, again we might end up forgetting what exactly has happened in the Test
Yeah.
cricket, and that is why probably BCCI is extremely cautious. They are quiet. They're not making any comment. They are refraining from making any comments because they know if India is doing well in the white ball setup, which India is most likely to do, then people tend to forget. We all have got very short term memory. But I think as genuine cricket fans, I think we should never mix the two formats, and we should definitely have a scrutiny, and we should. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's something seriously which needs to be have a look at again, and especially in the red ball. I mean, in the red ball cricket, and we should not forget the debacle which we had against the South African team.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, see, the people ask, right? What's the players? The same, like the players are performing, the players are not performing. Why can't you? Why are you not blaming the players? Like we discussed many times, right? It's pretty much the same set of players who played well the year before we lost to New Zealand. Right? The same Bumrah, the same KL Rahul, the same Jadeja, the same Rishabh Pant, and the same Shubman Gill. But what's happening now? So it's can't be to do with the skills. Yes, T20 cricket has had an impact, but that can't be the only reason. It's definitely to do with the mindset, and that mindset is coming through the management. Is what I personally feel, and we have been discussing this many times over as well. Like for example, I mean the whole bizarre. Okay, I think let's get into Gambhir again, right? Because there's so much to unravel here. Like when you get into a batsman like a player like Washington Sundar, for example, you have set him and told him that you are our premier off spinner. That's what you should be focusing on. In that scenario, he's hardly getting any overs. And then on top of that, you send him at one down, at number three. Now at number three, at one down, the focus is your entire mindset is changed towards being a proper top order batsman. And suddenly a question comes, right? What am I in the team for? Am I in the team for a top order batsman? In which case, then I should be practicing more for my batting, right? So this it's very difficult. You can't just because he's an all rounder, you shouldn't be changing the roles of these players, and that definitely has an impact on the players on the mentality, right? When they approach any innings they play. So I think those sort of things are very bizarre. And even somebody like Nitish Kumar Reddy, average of 23 in first class cricket, he himself will be like, why am I here? I mean, do I deserve to be here? You're putting him into that in top tier Test cricket against the world champion South African team, right? So it's very difficult. I really can't blame. There's a limit to how much you can blame the players. Is what I feel in this. Yes, I expected more fight from them, but it's beyond the skills. I think something is more than that. It's just not the skill set anymore.
No, no, it's not about the skill. I mean, there is definitely a portion of skill as well that, and we gotta admit that the quality of Indian batsmanship against the spin bowling has really deteriorated over the years, right? If you watch the highlights from we have been watching the game for the last 30 odd years, right? So, we used to see the likes of Azharuddin, Tendulkar, Dravid, all these guys, Lakshman, all these guys playing, handling spin in certain way. Even the tail end on the lower order batters like Anil Kumble and all these guys had solid defense against these spinners, right?
Mm.
And then you saw the next crop of players like Murli Vijay, Cheteshwar Pujara, Kohlis and Sharmas. They also
Rahane.
had solid Rahanes. They also got amazing defense to start with against this quality spin attack. But now that thing is particularly missing for sure. I think we're not going to debate on that the quality has definitely come down. And I think a lot of credit will go to or rather, discredit will go to the way pitches have been made in India. I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we have moved on, and to be honest, that has had a positive impact on the overall India's overseas performance as well in the senior countries, right? We have had and we have a habit of playing on those kind of wickets, and we tend to do well in the countries like Australia, England, and New Zealand. But the other side of the story, the other side of the coin is that we have been struggling with the spin, the quality of spin, matchmaking again, the spin attack, and that's what again got exposed in the first test in Kolkata. But the bigger problem for me was the second test, wherein, and by the way, in Kolkata, if you talk about Kolkata, South Africans are not really great against spin as well, and that has been the case with them for the last 30, 40 years at least. With all these non-Asian countries who have a history of struggling against spin, but they were ready to put in a fight. They had a
Yeah.
plan. Okay, the defense is not that great, but they will still try against India. Who are supposed to be probably one of the best spin playing nations. You know, uh, so that fight I think was missing, and that's where that entire T20 mindset probably not picked the right players who had that temperament to sort of bat out the day, bat out the session. Block balls after balls, which probably a Rahul Dravid or a Cheteshwar Pujara would have done in these kind of conditions. But the bigger worry was the second test. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Guwahati pitch, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it was not a rank turner by any means. If you're bowling good line and length at a certain pace, then you were able to sort of extract something out of the wicket, which Simon Harmer was able to do, which none of the Indian spinners were able to do in any of the innings, right? So that's where the skill probably would definitely come into the picture. But again, it's about a about a mindset thing, and I think we touched upon this in the last episode as well. That something is off in the dressing room. Players are probably not motivated enough to perform, to put in that extra effort, and they are like just waiting for something to happen, and which is a really sad thing, and which is something like which has got me worried over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and even if you consider, okay, there is a skill problem, right? Then what is the batting coach doing, right? What is the bowling coach doing? We have experts for this, right? And again, I don't want to go back to this, right? Like, who's a batting coach? Ryan Tenderskate. Like, he's not a test guy, right? I mean, I don't know how many test matches Netherlands has played. They don't have test status also. So how can okay, he must. I'm sure he has played test cricket. He's played what do you call it? Limited
Red
overs
ball.
cricket, first class cricket in maybe in England. But beyond that, I don't think he's really an expert in playing spin in the subcontinental conditions. So I don't think so. And so I don't know how much of a skill he can impart. And you're right. I mean, see, if you're playing spin, right, we've heard this so many times and we know all this, right? There are two things primarily. One is how using your feet, and one is the sweep. If those two are the primary ways to approach playing spin, that's keep rotating the strike, keep moving your feet, keep playing the sweep shot. And I'm reading some stats somewhere. I think India has one of the least number of sweep shots we've played in the last 2 years. We just don't employ that shot anymore. In fact, the only time that shot comes up is in a panic situation, like how Nitish Kumar Reddy suddenly put up a reverse sweep to get out. That's it. It's not. It's no more our go-to shot against spin. It's a shot we have really forgotten. And if that is a skill problem, I agree. That is a proper skill problem. In which case, then the batting coach should come into the picture, right? You should see your videos. And opposing teams are playing that so well. The way New Zealand employed sweep in India was a revelation to watch. Like attacking everybody, every batsman who came, you could see from the first ball itself they were open to play that shot. They were not worried about the field placements. They were not worried about the way the ball is pitching in. They were confident to play that shot. So a lot of things, I think, yeah, that skill gap should have been addressed, is what I feel.
No, so New Zealand and South Africa both incorporated pretty different strategies. New Zealand, I think, came out
Yeah,
all guns blazing. They attacked, they played aggressive shots, they used their feet brilliantly, they used sweep as well as the reverse sweep. But again, South Africa, if we talk about the South African batting order, they were ready to grind actually,
right,
and
yeah,
they were
yeah,
trusting their defense, despite the fact that their defense is not that high quality against this quality spin attack. But again, they were trusting their defense, which again was so great to watch as a cricket fan. That okay, here are these guys who have had a history of struggling against these spinners. We remember that Faf du Plessis statement when they came in 2019, where India literally hammered them. And again, here
yeah,
you see that these guys are sort of coming out of their shell and putting all their hard work, all their effort, batting with a straight bat, that defense, the solid
yeah,
defense. And on the other side, people who are supposed to be good players of spin, I think they were nowhere in the picture, and I think that's where the selection comes into the picture, right? You did not select the
yeah.
right guy, Nitish Kumar Reddy. The likes of even I know that when Dhruv Jurel is a great player. I don't know what exactly is going wrong with him right at this point of time. He played a couple of good knocks against England, I think, in that series when Rohit Sharma was the captain a
Yeah.
couple of years ago. He's
And
a good
against South
batsman,
Africa
but
A
again,
recently, right? Against South Africa A
against
also,
South
two
Africa,
centuries.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I think you need the likes of Ishwaran. You need the likes of Sarfaraz Khan, man. Again, coming back to him. I mean, what
yeah,
a player. In these conditions, he is someone who can use his feet, who can sweep, who can reverse sweep, who
yeah,
can play a defensive shot. He's solid against spin. Ishwaran, again, is a very quality batter. You got Rituraj Gaikwad. Bhai, de do inko chance. I think I
yeah.
don't want to see KL Rahul in this Indian setup, at least in the Indian condition. I would rather have somebody like Gaikwad. KL is a sensational player. If you're batting in England, South Africa, Australia, any of these countries, he can bat in those conditions. He's your solid guy. But again, in India, I don't trust him. I mean, we got far better players who can play at that opening spot. Instead of coming keep, but the selectors they keep on coming back to KL, and KL has been a disappointment. He has played more than 60 games, around 35 average. I think that is terrible. If you cannot, I mean, you're not doing justice to the talent for sure, and I think he's got enough chances now.
Yeah, and you mentioned South African players, right? Like somebody like a Tristan Stubbs. I mean, 400 balls. He's a proper T20 player. Like at least we have known him as a T20 player, right? Tristan Stubbs, whole Delhi Capitals and all the way he plays. It's amazing to watch him as a player. And I've always felt that Tristan Stubbs is one batsman. Like if you make a Fab Four, the future Fab Four, I've always put him there. Harry Brook, Tristan Stubbs. These are players who will go on to play the become the big four, Fab Four of cricket in the future. And he's shown that. I mean, what application? First series to India, so much application using the feed, like you said, the defense is solid. I mean, 400 balls to play in India is not a joke across two test matches, and that's pure application. Just like, okay, I'm not going to give my wicket away. Whatever happens, you have to get me out, you have to do your turn. And talking of turn, right, and again, that's another thing I noticed. I was reading somewhere that Indians, apparently South African spinners got the ball to turn more than Indian spinners. uh, these are the really baffling stats. I mean, Simon Harmer and the Keshav Maharaj as turning the ball more than. Okay, I understand Jadeja, right? Jadeja's not been a big turner of the ball ever. That's fine. But a Kuldeep Yadav, I mean, that's your forte, right? You should be turning the ball like way more than anybody else should be doing it. And again, Washington Sundar also, he's not a classical off spinner who will use the what do you call the rough. It's more of bowling straight, bowling fast, changing your variations. But turn is not a big forte, and that's another problem I'm having. We are not going behind those classical spinners who can turn the ball really hard, use the revs on the ball, get the ball to move off the pitch. That's not happening. It's more of, I'll control my pace and I'll pitch it on the line and length. That's not really spin bowling, and I'm sad that that's where we are right now.
So if you talk about the spin, in the turn degree of turn which the spinners get, right? So I think it's not only about the about. I mean, if you're bowling on a ranked turner, and anyone can turn the ball probably. If
Yeah,
I
yeah,
you can basically you just have to sort of do those revolutions, and the pitch will take care of
yeah,
everything else. But if it
yeah.
is not a ranked turner, then you have to find the right pace, the right angle,
Mm.
to sort of get extract anything out of the surface, which was the case with the Guwahati wicket, and that's where Simon Harmer, I
Yeah.
assume, was able to sort of identify that. And he's an experienced guy. He's 36. He's played a lot of domestic cricket, and to be honest, man, Jadeja with Ashwin versus Jadeja without Ashwin, I think there's a huge delta in both the Jadejas, I would say, because when Ashwin was there, Ashwin was someone who's kept on piling on the pressure on one end, and Jadeja's job was to just hit that particular area. He was not under pressure to pick up any wickets because more often than not, it was Ashwin who was doing all sort of damage, in the Indian conditions, and it was fairly easy, straightforward situation for Jadeja. But now he is the leader of the attack, and that's where probably is struggling because at the other end, Washington Sundar again is fairly new. Is not been able to sort of create that kind of impact yet. Kuldeep Yadav again, I think he looked like the tired bowler to me in that second test where it was really hard to see. I have been a good big Kuldeep fan, and I have been an advocate to sort of to make sure that he should be playing all the formats, all the games for India because the kind of talent he has got, I think his skills and everything is amazing. But again, he was found short of what he should have been doing in those conditions. So I think the skill gap is there, but again, I am pretty sure that India doesn't have a dearth of talent in the domestic setup. You got the likes of Manav Suthar, you got a couple of, I'm sure there are other folks as well, who
Mm.
can come in and sort of should be groomed for the future series, right? And that's where I think Pakistan did that well, in the last couple of series. If you watch, they've changed their strategy. If they got back to the domestic performers, their spinners. अरे वो दो बंदे लेके आए ना साजिद खान and the Noman Ali guy was like
Normally, yeah.
yeah, from the Harappa culture. I think, but they've been able to put an impact over there. I mean, create an impact right away, and that is something which India has to look at. If you not should not rely on one or two bowler. There are people who are performing well in domestic setup. Give them the chance. Give them the, and they've got the hunger as well, right? So. I think enough said and done. Don't want to be verbose, but high time that probably BCCI should take some tough calls, especially with Ajit Agarkar. I think he's been long enough in the system, and I think there has to be some drastic changes at that end. And I think we have spoken enough about Gambhir already that there's definitely a case of having a split coaching, like the split captaincy for both red ball and white ball cricket.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know your opinion on this, right? What is next? I mean, if BCCI like we discussed this, right? There's no more red ball cricket for a long time. I think 9 months, right? And the ODI series is going to start tomorrow. And we have short-term memory. We all know that everybody start talking about Roko. They're back. Okay, okay, we can all the coverage, all the footage will be on them. This should not be stuck under the carpet. The problem here is if BCCI does not take action, I would at least want a committee, somebody assigned to understand what went wrong. If nothing, if the public is not being not being what do you call aware of what's happening, then it's a really really wrong sign. Somebody has to do a postmortem, right? It just can't be people like you and me on YouTube doing this. They should be experts assigned to find out what went wrong, because this is a debacle. We've had only three whitewashes in the history of our game. Two happened in the last 1 year under this person's coaching. So this has to be examined, and I really hope something is done by BCCI. And okay, you don't want to remove it, maybe that's a knee-jerk reaction, fine. But institute a committee, tell the people what went wrong, tell what corrective measures you're going to do. It could be removing the coach, but at least let us know.
No, no, fair point. But I think we touched upon this in the beginning as well. That I don't think so that we're gonna get anything from the BCCI in the near future for sure. Because like you mentioned, we got the ODI series starting from tomorrow. If India does well, then we'll be. I mean, everyone will be obsessed with Rohit and Kohli for sure because I think they're gonna play this particular format. And post that, I think India's got a white ball tour to New Zealand and the World Cup. And if India ends up doing well, I think people will forget about this. But I hope not. I hope that BCCI is taking this seriously because this is not about losing a couple of series, right? This was embarrassing, and this was a fortress which was built over the last 30, 40 years by the likes of Ajruddin, Ganguly, Dravid, Dhoni, Kumble, Virat, Rohit to a certain extent. And I think I mean, whatever has happened in the last 1 year or so, it's really shameful. And there has to be a scrutiny of this. There has to be some committee. There has to be some retrospection has to be done for sure. I hope BCCI would do that because otherwise, I think the politics. I mean, I don't know, मतलब कुछ भी हो सकता है kind of thing. But I just hope that they are paying some attention to this. अभी तो कुछ नहीं आएगा. I'm pretty confident about it. Till that T20 World Cup, again, अगर इंडिया खराब खेलता है in that T20 World Cup, then I think we'll see a lot of changes because that would be a big thing. Other than that, if India does well in that particular tournament, I think people will forget about it. But let's see. I think we'll have to wait and watch. अभी तो कुछ नहीं हो रहा for sure.
Yeah, that'd be unfortunate, man. I mean, I really want something to happen, and like this whole moral responsibility. I don't think these two guys have any morals. They are not going to step down. That's not going to happen. And the Gambhir, the position he's in, Agarkar also, they both seem to be sufficiently insulated against whatever feedback is coming to them, and they are not going to take on any moral responsibility. So it's up to us, right, to raise the voice, show to them that you know what, enough is enough. You are accountable now, I guess. Yeah,
यार
but
ये
yeah, I mean,
पाकिस्तान जैसा हाल ना हो जाए हमारा. I'm just thinking that there are a lot of YouTubers. I think we're just normal cricket fans. I think we
yeah,
not experts. We won't call ourselves as
yeah,
experts or anything, but we're just normal cricket fans who have been watching the game for the last 30, 40, 30, 35 years, and we are really passionate about it. And it is really hard to watch these kind of things. हार जीत लगी रहती है यार. We lost a lot of games historically as well, but it's about the fight. You talk about that 2001 Australia series where we lost the first game badly and then we made a comeback. We talk about that 2012 England series where India got defeated by England after a long, long time in a home test series, and then but again we made a comeback in the very next series, whitewashed Australia after 4 5 months. So we have had a history of making comeback. So let's wait and watch. I'm still hopeful that the board will take certain tough calls, will make the right decision, will make the decisions which are probably better for the future of Indian cricket, Indian audience, and everyone as well.
yeah, yeah. Looking forward to something changing, right? I mean, at least some introspection. Yeah. What about the series tomorrow? I mean, any particular things you're looking out for? I know it's Rohit and Kohli playing in India, and yeah, a special shout out to Ranchi also. Both of us have special connections to that city, and looking forward to a match there. But otherwise, anything different you're looking out for?
Yeah, I was happy to see the picture which is circulating where MS was sort of dropping Kohli back to his hotel. I think this has been doing rounds in the internet, and I was really happy to see that. And apparently, Dhoni hosted party where a party at his farmhouse where Rohit, Kohli, Pant, and all these guys were invited. Gigi was not there for all the right reasons.
Yeah,
But for me, I think I would like to watch how again Rohit and Kohli goes, and I think since Shubman is not in the side, so in all likelihood, Jaiswal will get a rope to open along with Rohit. So I'm particularly excited to watch Yashasvi Jaiswal, which believe that should have got an opportunity long back. But I think there is one player I think I'm really looking forward to watching Jaiswal tomorrow.
yeah, you're right. Same. I mean, I genuinely feel that he should be opening with Rohit. Maybe Gill should go one down is what I've always felt, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity. And I really hope that he makes full of it. Right. I mean, it's very rare that you get an opportunity like this. You don't know how long Rohit will play with you. It's a chance for you to play with your one of the idols you always wanted to bat with, right? And an opening slot as well. So hope he makes full use of it. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, I don't want a scenario where again we are losing a match early upfront and then we are behind and taking catch up. I think this is a series where okay, fine, test match is done. Show your dominance. It's a format we play really well. Show your dominance. Show the fact that yeah, okay, test matches we've beaten, but we'll come back hard at you and we'll win the series easily. So I really want India to put up those big scores and get those wickets fast.
Yeah, yeah. The sheer dominance is something which I think all of us would want, all the
Yeah,
Indian fans would ideally want, right? So yeah, looking forward to it. We'll be back in a couple of days, hopefully talking about uh I mean a little more about the red ball cricket's future and everything. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on the ongoing ODI series as well. Yeah. So thank you, Sulesh.
see you. Bye.
Bye.